Hey, how's it going everyone on YouTube? How y'all been? Christian Dragoon here, coming at you all on Zelda's channel, doing a guest upload for you all today. And today's guest upload is going to be a update version of my recent Felgrand Dread Eyes deck profile that I did not too long ago. And compared to that build and this build right here, that build was actually lots of fun, and I really did like how the build was at the time. And I even took in my recent locals and it did perform very well. However, there were some blockages that the deck did go through here and there, and there were a couple problems that the deck really did need very badly after the recent locals event. And after the recent locals event, I decided to make some changes to the deck based upon what I felt like the deck needed the most for during base since the recent locals event. And the deck has been been performing a little bit better compared to the last previous build. And I am happy with how the build is so far right now. Obviously, there is always room for improvement, and I will be making some improvement once we get the future cards I definitely am aiming for to get here and there. And yeah, for the most part, I am liking with how the build is right now. And I'll be explaining my choices of why I'm currently doing what I'm currently doing. And with that being said, let's move on straight into the deck profile. So here we go. Alright, so start off with the monster lineup. We start off with 3 Red Eyes Black Dragons, and then 3 Red Eyes Flare Dragons right here. Now, right now, I'm not playing Summon Skull, let alone I'm not playing the Archfiend Black Skull Dragon build right here as such. I'm not really too big fan of playing that build right now, because I don't like the fact how Summon Skull normally becomes dead in my hand now and then, especially when I don't have Red Eyes Fusion in my hand. And Summon Skull not being good in the deck besides just being a fusion material isn't always really the biggest upset that I ever won in this deck occasionally such. So as of right now, I'm currently not playing the Archfiend build right now such. I may ponder on it and may have potentially picked that build back up and maybe pick up playing the build right now such. But for right now, the moment, the pure Red Eyes build with of course exception Felgrand has been working a lot more functional, a little bit better. This build right here allows me to get access to a lot of rank 7 Siege plays, and also some nice plays here and there that I can do here and there. And also by playing 3 of each of these guys, I open myself up with having multiple targets or multiple options of discard flotters for my cards of redstone, which is a very important asset for a deck like this. And now that's it for the boss Red Eyes engine. Now for the boss one more boss Red Eyes monster. The last boss Red Eyes monster is of course RemD, because RemD, everything's deck is all dragon, so why not? And this is a Red Eyes variant deck besides just Felgrand, so obviously Redman's is your go-to guy for a deck like this. And also another thing that's cool about RemD is that RemD can also bring back cards like your Felgrand, and we all know how great Felgrand can be when Felgrand is brought back something for free by the effect of using RemD out of nowhere, which is just amazing. And now for the boss Felgrand engine. For the boss Felgrand engine, currently we're playing just only 2 Felgrands right now. Only 2 Felgrands really necessary right now because a third Felgrand will probably be a little bit too cloggy, and while Felgrand is a great support for this deck right here, I do fear that the third Felgrand might be a little bit cloggy. There may be situations where I'll end up dead drawing into a Felgrand when I want to draw into something else, and a Felgrand in your hand when you have nothing to discard him or anything related to such does become a little bit of a burden to this deck right here and this such. So right now the moment 2 is just fine right here. Felgrand is just amazing. Every time you special from the graveyard, I can banish a monster my opponent controls or in their opponent's graveyard and all that such. And then when he destroys a monster by battle, I can special summon a level 7 level 7 or 8 dragon type monster from either player's graveyard to my side field. So obviously use this card to bring back either Archbrave Dragon or one of your Red Eyes Black Dragons. So you can do your further Red Eyes plays here and there, or depending on what my opponent has in graveyard, I can snatch that from the graveyard and use it for my own purposes right there, so, which is just crazy. And then last for the boss dragons of this deck right here, ending off with the 3 Archbrave Dragons. Now the reason why I played 3 Archbraves instead of just 2 is because this deck is obviously focused on not just Felgrand. It's also focused on Red Eyes and Felgrand right here, and that's a lot of things that people will forget about this deck right here. And by playing 3 Archbrave Dragons, Archbrave is not only great for the obvious of bringing back your Felgrand, but Archbrave is great because you want to bring back your Red Eyes, and the more easier access you will have bringing back your Red Eyes, especially if you don't have access to your Felgrand yet, the easier your plays will be, so you can go off with your big, huge, powerful dragon plays here and there. And there are a lot of people who will try to snipe this guy out, and from my graveyard by using a banish effect, and by playing extra of these, I'll be able to have more easier access of being able to do more Brave Dragon plays when the time comes when I do need to do more Brave Dragon plays. And also, he's just great because when he's brought from the graveyard, I can also banish all my opponent's base of spells and traps. So obviously, hate on pendulums, hate on certain back row hate cards, and field spell cards, which is always glamorous. And now for the little dragons, that's it for the boss monsters. For the little dragons, we play 3 Blackstone Legends. Now, currently, I don't have a second King of Bayou yet. I only have one. When I do pick up a second King of Bayou, I will most likely take one of these out so I can put in the second King of Bayou. But for right now, the moment, 3 Blackstone Legends is great. Obviously, Blackstones is great. So you can special out your level 7 Rise monsters from the board, from your deck to the board as fast as possible if you can. Also, take your Rise monsters from your graveyard back into your deck so you can have this card back into your hand all over again. Just so you can set them to either do more Rise plays here and there, have him prepared for next play so you can drop him again. Or another thing I like to do with him every now and then is after I get him back in my hand such, if I have a random D in my hand, I'll drop him, bash him, drop my random D, and proceed with my big huge dragon plays from there. So, which is just nice right there. Next up, the only non-dragon of the entire deck right here, of the main deck right here, and that is one copy of King of Bayou. King of Bayou is just great because constantly being able to recycle your Blackstone Legends is just fun and hilarious. And the fact that you can keep on constantly bringing back your Blackstone Legends, so you can keep on dropping your Raz monsters from your deck to field all day long, it's just really ridiculously fun. And yeah, I just really like the card in general. And what's really nice about him is that with him being a beast type monster, if you want, you can send him and your Blackstone to the graveyard or Black Metal Dragon in the graveyard to special summon out your Beast Dive Pendulum Dragon, which is always a great asset for this deck as well. And then everything else for the last one is we have the one Keeper of Shrine. Only one is needed because the second one can be a little bit cloggy. You only need two. You only need him only for so long. He's also great for not only bringing back your Res monsters. When he be brought out by bring out your Res monsters a lot easier. When your dragons dies, you can special him from hand or graveyard to field. And when you special this way, you can add a normal dragon from deck to your. From graveyard to your hand after if that normal dragon that was originally destroyed wasn't normal, and he can count as 2 tributes to tribute summon a dragon type monster, which as you all saw, all my boss dragons require 2 tributes, so he'll be help this deck drop their big monsters a lot easier, a lot faster, and all that creates good such, and yeah, it's just a great card in general. Plus 21 high defense, can't go wrong with that. And then lastly for the monster lineup, only one Black Metal Dragon. Occasionally, Black Metal Dragon hasn't really been needed as much as it used to be, especially that I'm not playing that many Red Eye spells and traps no more as I used to be no more. Before another moment, the one Black Metal Dragon seems to be just fine right here. Black Metal is still good because he does searches out those very minimum spells and traps, and he also has the ability where he can be equipped into one of your Rise monsters, and that Rise monster will gain 600 attack defense. So turn Rise Black Dragon, or I think it's just attack, right? I apologize. Nope, just attack. I apologize. So it pretty much turns your Rise Black Dragon into, or Rise Flare Dragon into Blue Eyes Flare Metal Dragon into Black, and also your MD and your Flare Metal Dragon into your 34 beaters, which is just insane. So yeah, still like this card even today. And that is it for the monster lineup. Now for the spell lineup, we have 2 Dragons Ravine to dump our dragons to our grave as we possibly can. It's great with our Felgrand engine, great for our Res engine. Can't go wrong with an engine like this, or a card like this. At the next set, we have 2 Terraforming, so we can search out our Dragons Ravine. I do want to play a third one, but I haven't really found room for a third Terraforming just yet. Most likely, I will take out a third Ruins if that comes down to that. But for right now, the moment, the 2 Terraformings do seem just fine, and 2 Terraformings pretty much do the job as is right now. But again, I would like to have a third dragon, a third Terraforming if that happens. But I do also would like to have a third Dragon's Ravine because I definitely would like to see Dragon's Ravine finally come to. Konami, if you're watching this video, please bring Dragon's Ravine back to 3, please. Please, please, please. And the next set we have 3 ruins. I'm sorry, not ruins. We have 3 Return of the True Dragon Dragon Lords. This card is just great. Bring back your Felgrand, bring back your Arc Braves, bring back your Rise monsters, which is just great. And also it has a really nice graveyard effect where if a Rise monster would be destroyed, you can bash this graveyard card from graveyard instead to prevent destruction of any dragon, which is just insane. As we mentioned earlier, the 3 cards are red stones, so we can pitch our level 7 Rise monsters to draw 2, and then if we want, Foolish Barrel Neuro Rise monsters, so we can speed up our graveyard plays from there. And then next up, we have 3 copies of Ruins. Oops, shouldn't be doing that. 3 copies of Ruins of the Divine Dragon Lords. This card is just so fun, and it gives Red Eyes the pushing edge it needs now and then. Just the fact that this card is literally a weird version of Lose One Turn for Dragons is just ridiculously insane. Pretty much stop anything that was special, that was not special summon from the graveyard. Any monster that was special summon besides the graveyard will lose its effects till the end of the turn. So it really shuts down so many decks right off the bat. And it gives this deck a fighting chance against so many weird decks, and it allows this deck to take advantage of dropping those big dragons out of nowhere from graveyard and just banishing or getting rid of whatever's a problem. And you just go off with some same place right there. And what's really cool about this card is that this card can bring itself back from graveyard to your hand by just pitching a level 7/8 dragon. And it also has the effect where if you want, send off a face-up card you're willing to spare to get a dragon token that you can use for either a stall play, or if you even want to, use it as potentially a tribute fodder to tribute summon more dragons, if something like that comes down and happens like that. And then next up, 2 dragon shrines, so we can dump our dragons to the graveyard a lot faster as well, along with our dragon ravine. This card is also great because you are playing good portion of normal monsters, so you have no problem utilizing this card, no problem at all, especially when it comes to combo off with Arcbrave Dragons or Felgrand very nicely, which is just a nice card in general. And then for the one-ups, one 1/101, so we can drop our Blackstone Legends or other stuff like easier, a lot faster, and the 1 Soul Charge, so we can bring our stuff back as fast as we can. And that is it for the spell lineup. Now for the trap lineup, for traps, we have the 3 Call of the Haunted, so we can bring our stuff from the graveyard, and practically everything in our graveyards is stuff that we occasionally want to be brought back, so we will have no problem utilizing this card at all to bring our dragons back, especially when we use the card bring back random D, so we can drop your random D plays. Use this bring back Felgrand out of nowhere during your opponent's turn, so you can banish off that big monster you don't want to deal with. And even Arcbrave Dragon, if you want to banish off your opponent's face-up spells, traps, whatever, or if you want more Raz monsters to do more Raz plays, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. And lastly, for the spells to end the trap lineup, we have 1 copy of each, 1 Spirit, 1 Red Eye Spirit, and 1 Return of the Red Eyes. As I was mentioning earlier with Black Metal Dragon, I'm currently playing a very few mild Red Eyes traps right now because these cards right here are a little bit slower. They're not as fast as they used to be. This is only good for bringing back only your Red Eyes monsters, and this is only good for bringing back your normal monsters, and this is only at its best when you have Red Eyes monsters to control, to special summon your Red Eyes monsters, considering if your opponent does not destroy this, of course. So there's only so much these cards can do. They're still great cards in general. I still love them. However, they are a little bit slowish right now, so I feel like only 1 of each is really necessary right now. And for right now, at the moment, I don't feel 2 of each of these is really needed no more. And that is it for the main deck right there. Now for the extra deck, we have 3 Rise Flare Metal Dragons, because this can bring back more Rise monsters. This can't be destroyed by card effects as long as it has at least 1 Conceive material, and as long as this card has at least 1 Conceive material, every time your opponent will try to play a card effect, they would take 500 to the face. If you get 2 or 3 of these on the board, that's literally 1,000 or 1,500 to the face every time your opponent does stuff. And then next up, 2 Draco Sacks, 2 Big Eyes, so we can do stuff. 1 Gaia in case we need some piercing damage, and 1 Master Blades just in case we need Master Blades to do stuff. And I play a very minimal rank 8 stuff because Felgrand is the only level 8 monster I'm currently playing, and I'm not too sure how often I'll have 2 Felgrands on the board together. But these cards are there just in case if that happens, but for right now, at the moment, I'm not really too sure how often I'll bring them out, but again, they're there for the case. For the rank age, we have the 1 number 38, negate spells, and protect your monsters from certain attacks here and there. And then the 1 number 62, because it gets really huge when it battles monsters during the battle phase while it's detached piece material, but mostly there in 4, so we can have the full armor dragon, so we can pop off face up stuff, and then later on you go into dark matter dragons, so we can dump some massive dragons to the graveyard, which is just insane, and make our opponent potentially banish stuff as well. And then everything else is just the last 2 cards are just the 1 beast size as I mentioned earlier, because we are playing King of Bayou, so why not? And this card is really nice because it's a 3,000 beater that literally does 800 damage every time it swings every now and then, which is nice. And then finally the 1 Stardust Dragon, because in my side deck I am usually playing Starlight Road, and this card is normally good when I drop the Starlight Road on onto my opponent. Oh yeah, so yeah there everybody. That right there was my Felgrand Red Eye deck update for August 2016. Hope you all really like this video. This deck has been going through quite a bit of changes since the last time we've seen this deck profile last time in the past. And yeah, I really like this deck in general. Let me know what you all think of this profile. And I'll see you all around. And check out my channel if you want to see my dragon content, all that good such. And I'm out. See ya. Bye. Peace.